So I am Michelle Estrada. I am the president of the Scott Valley Quilters. We give out lots of quilts to the Valley. We also meet for classes and demonstrations and just to have fun. We call Tuesdays our therapy group because we just visit and have a good time as well as quilting. Some of the quilts that we do is we give out comfort quilts to kids, families that may have lost their home. So we did that with an accident that had happened where several kids were in the accident. So we gave each one of those children a quilt that they can, just to show our love. And then we also make veteran quilts. This is one for a girl, but all the veterans in Siskiyou County have gotten a quilt or will be getting a quilt, or we just need to find them. So if you know of any veterans that may not have gotten a quilt, we would love to do that. I met a few of them at the fair, so we've been rounding them up and giving them quilts. We also give out quilts to Rockside Ranch. This is one of, is it up? Okay, good. Anyway, all the young men that go through that program get a quilt to show that, Scott Valley loves them and we support what they're doing. So, and then some of the other things that we do are we make lots of pot holders for the food baskets, and we give them to Lisa every year. We've made at least 150 every year for like 3 years, I think.
At least 3 years.
Yeah, 3 or 4 years. Yeah. But some of these are orphan blocks that we have. None of these. But we enjoy doing that. So we do that throughout the year so we have enough for her for the food baskets. And let's see. We have a meeting the first Thursday of the month. Anybody is welcome to come. And next year on May 10th, we're going to have our quilt show, which is at the Fort Jones Community Center. And we have a lot of quilts and things to do, and the money that we make at the quilt show goes for our scholarships. So we do 2 of those every year for the high school. So that's that main focus. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to turn over here, and I'm going to be the director of Loaves and Fishes. Loaves and Fishes is a program where we get the seniors together to have lunches on Fridays at the Methodist Church in Etna. And we serve delicious meals. I think so anyway. And we try and make it really nutritious for them too. We give them lots of vegetables and protein, and they of course get dessert too because they like their desserts. But they meet at the church and they'll have lunch at noon on Friday. And we also offer a program where we can deliver meals to homebound people. A lot of that is, our drivers are great. We have several drivers that will go, and if they see, someone needs something at the house. There was one gentleman that went to the house, and the guy had fallen out of his wheelchair, so he called someone to help him, get back into his chair. So it's a good way to keep an eye on the seniors in the Valley. So let's see, what else? I think that's all I really have to say. Okay. And thank you to Michelle, too, because she comes to our program and gives us some good information. So, the Michelles.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Michelle. Next, we have Alan Kramer, and I hope we're going to get this right. Audra Ryland, who are going to talk to us about the Grange.
That's okay. I'm big enough to just run over you.
Take me out.
Hi, everybody. I am Audra Mylan. I am the treasurer of the Scott Valley Grange. And this year,
I'm Alan Kramer, and I am the vice president of the Scott Valley Grange, and basically a loudmouth.
it's great. Okay, so the Grange, which was founded in 1867, supported farmers and rural communities, but has since evolved into an organization that focuses on a variety of community building activities. The Greenview Grange has a long history as part of our community, and it's exciting to see it come back to life as the Grange reopens its doors. While this building has seen many changes over the years, we're thrilled to be starting a new chapter where we can again come together to support one another. Our goal is to create a vibrant space for local gatherings, educational events, and projects that strengthen our community. Whether you're interested in volunteering, joining us for our event, or becoming a member, there's a place for everyone to get involved. This is an exciting opportunity to breathe new life into an important piece of our history and help build a future that benefits us all. So, Alice.
Well said. So actually, she said we're starting a new Grange. We really aren't. We're rejuvenating an old Grange, the Scott Valley Grange number 386, which I believe has been in existence for many years.
Yes.
Longer than I've been in existence. So the Grange was originally set up in rural communities to provide a social and educational spot for farmers primarily. Now, our society has evolved rather substantially since the Grange was set up, so we're focusing a little more on kind of community activities and just supporting community events. We have done several events. Most recently, we just had a square dance on Saturday. I think there was probably about 40 people there, and Michelle was talking about getting some exercise. In about 2 hours, we did the equivalent of walking 2.5 miles probably. So you don't have to be young to do that. There were
like teenagers.
Quite a few people who were senior to myself, and I won't get into how old that is, but everybody was having a good time. Everybody was getting exercise. It's just a good community building event. You're getting to know your neighbors and having a good time at the same time. We sponsored a voter registration at the Grange prior to our recent election. We did a contra dance there, what was that, a couple of months ago?
Yeah.
And had a really good response. We actually have a wonderful stage, and we had live music for our contra dance. We had a full band on the stage, and the stage is designed so that the music projected throughout the entire building without any need for sound reinforcement, which was a wonderful thing to discover. Recently, we did a Halloween carnival there, kind of in conjunction with a haunted house that was happening right over here. So the two events kind of supported each other, had a bunch of kids. I was impressed at how many kids that came out and just had a great time doing little carnival things. We have several things that are coming up. The 30th of this month, we are doing a craft fair. And I'm not sure if there are booths still available, but if you know anybody that would like to participate in that, Linda Berry would be the contact person for that, and I have a phone number and an email for her. You can get a hold of me after the event here, and I would be happy to give you that. The Valley Oak Seniors has offered to open their building for additional booth space if we run out of booth space over there. So we're hoping to have pretty good participation for that. In conjunction with that, we are doing a fundraising gift basket drawing at the end of the craft fair. I wish I could say that I had tickets here to sell, but I don't. But there are some wonderful gift baskets there They're selling tickets for $5 a piece or 5 for $20. And I think you'll be impressed with the gift baskets. It's the kind of thing that you can select which gift basket you want to put your ticket in for that drawing. So,
And a lot of these are community businesses that we're supporting.
they're community businesses that have helped us with those things. So yeah, it's a real community event. Let's see, where else are we going here?
Okay.
In the future, we hope to be able to make the space available as an emergency shelter. We have been in initial discussions with the OES rep here in the county, and we have a ways to go to get our building up to codes where it would qualify for that, but we are aiming for that. So we are trying to raise money to improve the building. Hopefully we would put in air filtration systems and air conditioning, so when there's a lot of smoke in the area, people that have difficulty breathing in that smoky environment would have a place where they could come and be out of that smoky environment. When we talked about evacuations, sometimes not everybody has a good place to go for an evacuation, and that would be a spot that might perhaps serve that function. Once again, we're working on raising money to improve our building, and obviously, if you look at the building, it has suffered some from lack of attention. I don't know exactly how long the Grange was defunct, but it was an extended period of time. And a number of us in the community just saw it as a resource that we didn't want to let go of. We wanted to make it available for the community. What else?
The community game night and crafting social night.
Okay. So coming up, we also have a community game night. And I think we are planning to do community game nights once a month. We're asking for a couple of dollars donation. We'll have a lot of games there. There are a number of people who thought that would be a great idea. Once again, it's an opportunity to get out, meet some of your neighbors and community members, and just have a good time. We also, there will be some craft things that will be available on that community game night. That is going to be the 11th of December, 12th month. I knew there was a 12 in there somewhere.
So we'll go ahead and leave all these flyers in the back for you to look at.
So, we are a little over a year into this project of revitalizing the Grange, and our membership is small at this time. We're hoping to get more members and having more people join us in this project to make a community space that's useful for everybody. I guess one other thing that I wanted to mention, looking towards early spring, we've talked with the Valley Oak seniors about maybe doing a dinner and dance together, where the seniors here would do a dinner and then we would have a dance over at the Grange. So, lots of different ideas like that. We would welcome everybody to come and share their ideas. And I guess I'll end right there, unless there's any questions.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, are there any questions from any of our speakers?
We got one more presentation. Cora.
Oh, that's right, forgot. Cora
And she
Brunel is
said
going
it.
to talk about art. Yes, so we have one more to go. Then you can ask questions.
So is this on? I think I heard it. Yeah, I heard it go down. How do I get it back on?
I'm trying right now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, come on. I'm not technical, I'm very technically challenged, okay?
So it looks like it's trying. There we are.
That was fast.
Yeah.
You're getting to be a real techie.
Okay, hi everybody. I'm Cora Brownell, and I am one of the members of the Marble Rim Gallery. We have two other members here. We have Catherine Chaplin and Linda Cabot. And so we were invited, and we appreciate this very much, because how many people know where this is? Oh, this is pretty good. We have found that we are continually encountering people that say, where is the Marble Rim Gallery? Oh, I've never been there. Where is it? So it's amazing, because the gallery has been around for a long time, and it is a cooperative of local artists and the purpose of it is to really raise awareness and integration into the community of the arts. Art has a place. Art has a very significant place in community health and in how people feel about themselves and others. We forget about it sometimes, that type of communication. And it's actually a very, very big one. And what's really nice about the gallery is that it is a platform for local artists to show their artwork and also to sell it. And there's something that happens for an artist when somebody, because there's a communication that goes on with the artwork, when somebody likes something enough that they want to take it home with them, or they're wanting to give it to somebody to share. That means this whole communication has gone out. And while the money is wonderful, it's necessary for the gallery, of course, that communication and that kind of reinforcement of somebody's work in that way has real meaning. And we can remember all of those great pieces of artwork. We think about them, ones that are very famous and known, and we know that there's something about it. It means something to us. So those people who are artists are the ones that put this together. It has a history that really exemplifies this. And as it says here, it's an enduring presence that is happening in our community. And the value of it is really important and superb. So believe it or not, this gallery and this whole entity has been in operation for over 30 years here in Siskiyou County and in Scott Valley. It was founded by 5 artists who really felt that this was a need for the community and for themselves, and they put it together. And the gallery, when they started out, they had dreams of having a gallery. They formed the organization first, which was called Scott Valley Arts Guild. And the guild became known as the guild for many years, and people still use that term. They first got a place, a site, as we've just been talking about how important place is for the gallery. In less than a year, they were able to manifest that. And the first one, I don't know if you can see these little pictures, that's the building it was in. We know that now it's been a feed store and a realtor office, and now it's the trading post, I think it's called. And so that building has cycled through, but that was the start for the gallery. And then they moved into the old creamery, which is now, I think it's still the stoneworks person is there. Yeah, so it then moved onward into other places around in Fort Jones, storefront areas around in Fort Jones. The old yellow Victorian that we all know about, that's right there in Fort Jones, was one of the next sites that it came to. And then the guild moved into the back of the Mercantile when they had the antique store and the soda fountain shop there. And I used to go there. I loved that. I thought, oh, this is amazing. because there was an attraction to handmade and local made and unique items that somebody created that lives right around here. So then finally the gallery moved into the building where the gallery still exists. And then there was importance in having some kind of fiscal oversight of the gallery, a fiscal entity that connected with it. And at first, the Siskiyou Arts Council assumed that back in 2005. And then, at that time, the Guild chose to call the art gallery a different name. And that's where the name Marble Rim Gallery came from, because that was kind of a reflection on where we live, where we are, and that magnificent bank of mountains that's way up there in the Marble Mountain Wilderness that's looking over us. So that was the start of that. And then Siskiyou Arts Council at that time folded in about 2015 and was no longer active for a while. And the gallery then joined with the Scott Valley Theater Company. And that was a great partnership in arts. It was kind of like we came home to the valley here with an entity that was local. And so that also had its real benefits for us. And we've been with them since. So all this time and continuous, it has been that platform for artists to show their creations and to sell those creations and to share their skills. Also, we have workshops and classes and a number of other events that I'm going to go over with you here. So it was organized as a cooperative. That means that the people who join as members cooperate together in running this gallery and in making the decisions about the gallery. And percentage of the sales of each artist's work goes to help support the gallery. So the gallery, it's all volunteer. Everybody's volunteering. They're not really getting paid unless they sell something. And we also do a whole lot of other things out in the community. A lot of donations go to fundraisers, to different community entities for maybe a raffle that they're having or a silent auction dinner or something like that. So we're paying into those scholarships and those things that people raise money for. And I think people don't get the train sometimes that came from an artist that gave that, made that and gave that. So the members also have their own unique skills. And that's another thing that happens with the cooperative is that they contribute those skills into the operation of the gallery. And that makes the gallery then also something that is a social investment really in the community as well. So members work together to jury any items that come into the gallery. Each member's items have been juried. If they do something different, then that item also needs to get juried. So we make sure we make decisions over the standard and quality of the work that we have there. And also, the gallery hosts and sponsors a number of other community events. The first one that you might think of is the Spring Craft Fair. And so every year we have that. It was called the Artisan Street Festival way back, and it still goes on. We still have the booths of vendors, of people, and this is anybody. It's not just members of the gallery. It's anybody who creates something and is an artist locally here. Thank you. We also have the Christmas Craft Fair coming up December 14th. And, of course, this is a very popular event, I think, in our area here. And a lot of people go just even to see who's there and to meet and connect. So it becomes a social event, too. Again, it's the same thing. Everything we require to be made by the artist so that people know that there's going to be a certain quality to what's there. And at the same time, we jury them to a certain extent. We started sponsoring a jewelry show about 5 years ago, and we've had 5 now of these jewelry, well, actually 6. We had one in February one year, too, And this is where we invite jewelers from all over the area to come and show their jewelry and to have it available for sale. And the way that this works for us is also we'll go over this first. That we also host what we call First Friday events. This is where we invite a featured artist to come to the gallery and show their things. They display their work and it stays up for a week to two. And we have a grand opening on generally a First Friday, so people get used to that being on their calendar that month. And at that event, there's quite a few things that you will. Oops, I just went the wrong way. That happen at the First Friday. There are all different mediums of creativity. We've talked with people of things we haven't even had there, but some of the things that are really amazing is that it provides a chance for people to meet that artist, to meet who that is that made that item, to chat with them. It's a relaxed social setting. It's kind of a nice, wonderful gathering around art and getting to view the art and also have that interaction with people. And there's also a lot of learning and inspiration that goes on at these events. You meet different types of creativity. Like in this one here, we have fly tying. That's a very creative thing. And to invite the fly tyers in, we've had them a couple of times, and it's popular. It's quite an art to tie those flies. And so we had an event that was all about fish with various artwork also about fish, and that was lots of fun. We've had Gail Jenner talk about her books and the histories that she has developed and the research she's done, which is absolutely fantastic, into her books. We've had the Convent of St. Elizabeth, amazing artists. They do art. They're enterprising women who do artwork for maintaining their convent, but they on the side will also do non-religious artwork that's just out of the love of doing art. And so we had their shows have had a combination. We've had them at the gallery a few times. We also every year host the Etna High School students. So they're getting a chance to experience what it's like to be in an art show and to show their things, and that experience of getting that communication across where somebody comes up and says, tell me about this that you made, and to be able to just show it there. So that's a really great thing for the high school students. And so in addition to the percentages of the sales of artwork that we get, the gallery operates totally on its own. We operate from the booths at both the Christmas and the spring craft fairs, and also from a lot of other, occasionally a raffle, we've had them, and then also donations are received. Maybe from non-members, artists we've featured, they will donate a portion of anything they've sold. Most of these events, except for the two craft fairs, we do not charge a fee for the featured artists or anything. It's if they sell something, they give us a percentage. And also from community members. We have our donation jar there, and they'll throw in their change if they buy something or whatever. But we have managed to, this gallery has managed to survive, even through COVID, for over 30 years now. COVID was a challenge, but we made it through. So all funds go to meet the costs of operating the gallery. That's the rent and the lights and the phone and so forth, to keep it going. So we welcome new members. If there are people who are artists, they're often timid in coming forward. They don't always think they're good enough, or they're just nervous about that communication that starts to happen. And so we try to support them and encourage them and give them a chance to learn about the ropes of the gallery and to get an invitation to. And sometimes we'll start that with them being a featured artist, so they get a feel of what it's like. And then maybe after that they think, well, maybe I'm okay to join. I'd be okay. And so we try and encourage that. And we always we always communicate with them on whether their artwork is going to be okay or not. We've had people who've come where we felt that yes, they're working on it, but it's not quite there yet, or it's not quite the right thing. But most of it, yeah, it's okay. So come visit the Marble Rim Gallery. Stop in. We're right now, we're open 3 days a week, Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. And the Christmas craft fair is coming up, and I put some little cards on the table up there for that. We have a website. The website is marblerimgallery.org. And we also have emails and phone and other ways to get a hold of us. We have members here you can talk with.
We have Facebook presence.
Facebook? Yes. So that's pretty much our story here. So I don't know if people want to do questions now or if our other members here would like to say anything.
No, I think you did a great job. I learned things.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for your attention. Come see the Marble Rim Gallery.
So there are any questions for any of our presenters?
Yes. So if they would come up to the front and we could ask questions. I have a few.
Okay, Lisa, speak up.
Okay, Michelle, I'd like to know how a person would contact you, like if you have a senior person who would like to grow a garden. How do they get into that? You know, is
So-
that
Our support is mostly with organizations to put in. So, like Mary, like if we wanted to, like, is there a spot to grow a garden here?
us?
I wish we had room for a garden.
I've thought about like Mary and I worked with after school programs, so that's always my go-to. So with that, I do have some of these back there. They're a brochure of our program, touches base of what we talked about, but my name and email is back there, or on the back, excuse me. So definitely reach out. I actually had a couple more things I forgot to say. If you were interested in receiving the food assistance flyer, so if you're part of an organization that it would be beneficial to receive that, I just have a sign-in sheet. So if you wanted to sign up, I send out weekly flyers, generally Friday, Monday morning, that for that week. So if there was any interest, please sign up with that. And then last,
This is an email flyer.
it's an
that you
email.
sent.
It's an email. I put it because it has a link to our Facebook page and our website that has it, because it's always updating, and like when the holidays coming, and so you can always find the most current one on our website. But I try to send that out.
So is the list of food available to people, the free food, on the website somewhere?
Yes, and I have
Okay.
examples. Oh, yeah, you need the pen. That would be helpful. I have an example back there. It's all, we reach out to Great Northern Services because they operate our commodities. What's pretty amazing is, I mentioned we're a 10-county region. I'd say Siskiyou and Trinity counties, we often have, it's like space, because we have so many organizations that offer a meal a week or provide food. I think what's amazing is like we support our community members. You can see the difference between the larger counties. Sometimes they have more funds, like we get a little bit, that we were small, but what I see is us taking care of each other, and it's pretty cool that we try to keep it big print, right, so that we could read, but sometimes we got to go spot because there's so many spots to go.
And this is South County too.
South County, yeah, that. That would be one if we ever thought we had enough locations within Scott Valley. I work with someone who is in the background. We put together those spreadsheets, but we could put together a flyer at a month of the different locations where individuals could go to either access prepared food, because sometimes we walk away with a box, right, and we do that, but also, especially for older adults, it's about that hot meal that they're getting and that socialization that's also so important too. So anyway, that would be something we'd be open to if we thought it would be beneficial for the community. The other thing I forgot to mention is that we're hiring. So I'm super excited. So I have two flyers back there. If you know of someone, or if you are someone who's interested, we're hiring a program manager. And yes, I mentioned we serve the 10 counties, but I'm hopeful to find someone in Siskiyou County. I would be open to find someone in Shasta County to do a lot of the things that I mentioned. If you think of gardening, nutrition, education, for specifically Siskiyou County, and of course I hope Scott Valley, because we actually have a line dancing curriculum that I feel like might be kind of cool to, to try out at the Grange. I haven't implemented it. So if you know of someone, we're looking for someone that has, I would say, a background in nutrition, health, exercise, phys. We have a lot of staff that recently have graduated with their degree in psychology, because we know there's a lot with that. So even a nursing student would be, someone would be interested. So if you know of anyone, help spread the word, because I would love to have someone join our team locally, since this is kind of a regional approach.
And do you work with the Resource Center also?
I do a little bit. They've changed. They've got new staff in there, so I'll be reaching. The biggest thing on my end, because I'm the project director, and so I don't always have a lot of time to do a lot of we call it the implementation or on the ground, and so we now have funding to help support that.
Are you involved at all with Farm to Fork or Farm to School? Is it or Fork to School?
Well,
One of the-
not with this specific program. When I was with the schools, they did receive a planning grant, and so I got to be part of that. And as most of Scott Valley, we're all connected. So my brother-in-law and sister-in-law operate Farm School, and that is a big connection. I'm on the board, and we were just talking about all the kids. They've got a culinary unit, and so all the food, the kids are making the lunches now and snacks. And most of, it's basically all locally sourced, and then obviously what we can be growing on the property there. We did have someone in Siskiyou County receive funding, because that comes through the California Food and Ag, and I think someone, I'm going to say Shasta Valley, but I'm not 100% did receive that. I'm hopeful that our schools here would be ready, because it takes a lot of work, because in theory it's great, but there is a lot of producing it. You've got to have maintenance, you've got to have water, things freeze. A lot of our produce comes into production in the summer. Well, the kids are not, in school, and also you've got to have, a kitchen that's ready to handle some of that. And we have some older kitchens. I don't know if Aetna's been updated, but when I worked there wasn't a dishwasher in there. So I think about how do we make some of those things happen. I'm not aware. Wouldn't it be cool to have like farm to senior center? Wouldn't that be kind of cool? I would like, maybe we should pitch that opportunity with more produce in there.
Do you work with 4-H? Because I know 4-H has been doing cooking classes. Because I'm with Sacred Heart Church, and I know that Carolyn Louise has been doing.
Yes, she's been doing.
Classes.
I haven't had the capacity. I did it a couple times. My focus has been mostly with older adults, and they have a great curriculum, and so the opportunity is there. And my kids got older, and they were like, they wanted to do other things, and so
besides the cooking.
Yes. And I was just saying, my kids don't always listen to me. Mom doesn't know anything. But there's a lot of opportunities.
Yeah.
I think we are seeing. At the high school, we have a great ag program. The hope is, to be doing more of that. And I think it's mostly also just growing things in the ground. Like we have a horticulture program where they do flower arrangement. Anytime we can do hands-on activities related to the growing is always good. Any other questions?
Okay.
So, what are the requirements for a person who's wanting to connect with getting free food? I'm thinking of unhoused people or people that are really challenged,
So that, with that flyer, each program has their own specifics.
Okay.
With that we just kind of pull all the information together. We will often, encourage, if sometimes, have they heard of CalFresh and their other programs to get them connected. But most of all that we highlight is there is no requirements. CalFresh is an income-based program, and so you do have to fill out an application with that. The nice thing is it's gotten easier. Still not easy, but there is an online system. PSA2 does have staff in there to help support. I would say the paper application still looks a little bit daunting, but the online version tends to go a little bit smoother, so that individuals can see if they're eligible. And what's unique about older adults is that you have other deductions compared to like a family. Because we know as we get older, we often have more medical expenses, and so that's what's nice to connect to, I would say, individuals either with our county or to kind of talk through that, because sometimes we think we're not eligible and we are. Sometimes I also hear that it's only a small amount of money, but when we talk about, how do we extend that, or you can save it up. And so you can use it, I always think of Christmas time, even if it's only $25 a month, we'll save it so then it's in the holidays so that you have extra funds to buy, Christmas presents or shop local. That's what we also talk about with that.
Don't you find that transportation also is a huge issue?
No.
Because as much as we love our community and where we live, it's so spread out, and we have no public transportation that a lot of these programs where they can get the food, other than, loaves and fishes, they have to get themselves to a location in order to get these meals.
Yeah. Madrone has been, which it still doesn't solve the problem for everyone, but Madrone has been bringing over, they've done frozen meals, and they'll bring it to Fort Jones, and so sometimes there are other options. But no, you're right. I mean, transportation is definitely a challenge. And we even talking about, shopping on a budget. Well, it's easy if we go to Winco, right? We can go buy a Walmart. I mean, but you can do Walmart on, delivery, but we have to know how to be able to get on the computer and do the ordering, or have a computer, right? So yeah, all of those challenges, but transportation is huge. And even if you think about like with the food boxes, and that's why we actually started this flyer, is because during COVID, we saw an increased need of accessing food, but then the hours were shifting. And so, like, I'm a mom of 3, and so I could not imagine getting my 3 kids loaded up, trying to get to, and I'm late, and show up 10 minutes before close, and it already closed, and I didn't get the food. Yeah. And so we try really hard to make it, but we rely on our partners to say, hey, we've changed hours, funding has changed. It will be interesting, I would say, when we talk about food, is that COVID, there was a lot of additional funds for additional food programs. That's done. And so the food banks that I'm connected with talk about that they're busier. They're seeing more. We would love, pie in the sky, have more gardens or more systems put in place so that we can be providing more fresh fruits and vegetables that go in there. But then there's that assumption, if you're homeless, right? Do you have a stove? Do you have a can opener? Do you have a working oven? We always say I have a burner that's possessed. Like, we don't touch that burner. It burns everything. But often we think about everyone has running water. We have work, equipment. We have curriculum where we talk about how do we cook with just a microwave, right? So that, and especially if you live alone, who wants to cook a big meal and and have all that cleanup? So it's also looking at that individual, what's going on. Questions?
Any other questions for any of the presenters? All right, our next program is on the 20th of January, and there'll be a flyer coming out. And thank you all for being part of this evening, and we'll see you next month.
Yeah. Thank you. All the videos are definitely about probably about a week.